They were robbed the year before, really. So I suppose this is the one that will really decide the rivalry between the two of them. But two very good teams. Kilkenny ran through Leinster Championship, beat Offaly by 10 points, hammered Dublin here in the Leinster final. Looked really good. We saw them here in the Leinster final. Looked very, very strong, very, very balanced team. But we have two very good teams, probably the two best teams that are left in it here today, so should have a great game.
OK, we're looking forward to it. Now let's hear from the rival managers ahead of today's minor semi-final. Richie Mulrooney is back for another year in charge of the Kilkenny squad, while the long-serving Matty Murphy was once again the Galway manager this year. And they've been speaking to Marty Morrissey.
Looking forward to that at this stage, Marty. Obviously the week before a match, time passes very slowly, but we're well prepared and hopefully ready to give it a really good go today.
Do you have many of last year's squad?
Of our panel, we would have 8 or 9 of the starting 15 from last year's All-Ireland final. 4, but it would have been 6. Ger Elbert and Willie Phelan were injured back then, but thankfully they're both ready to play today.
You know, in the past we've seen so many big names come out of your minor teams. Who should we be keeping an eye out for today?
That's a dangerous question to answer, Marty. I don't know. I mean, I feel we have a really good hurling team and we have a lot of good hurlers in a lot of strong positions. I wouldn't like to name anyone in particular. It might put them under too much pressure later on, but I would certainly think there's 5 to 6 of this Kilkenny minor team at some stage in the future will play senior with the county.
You are facing Kilkenny, and that is a huge challenge in itself, isn't it?
Well, sure, that's the level. I mean, that's the level we aspire to, and we'll know after today what we're worth. And that's a tribute to Kilkenny as well, because I mean, they are the benchmark by which we set our standards, and we always strive to come up to their standards. And you know, some years we do, and some years we fall a bit short. But there's never much between us.
Well, we look forward to a good game, Matty. Thank you.
Okay, Marty.
Best of luck.
OK, it's time for us to head to a break here on the programme. More in our build-up to this afternoon's opening game here at Croke Park. You're welcome back again to Croke Park. We'll shortly be heading into the first of this year's All-Ireland Minor semi-finals, and with news of how the Kilkenny and Galway teams will line out for this game, we're going to head over to the commentary box now to hear from Micheál O'Shea.
Gur magat Michael agus Sinead Parca Chrócaig agus Siahiad for an Kilkenny for an Analáidir na núr onirigeco Schachter Ochláiste Chiaráin Willie Phelan Analáidir sa Stiganson Lasmoda Luke Harney Sar Amani Mohalar na Parca Ollie Welsh Vian Onirig agus Kevin Kelly an Einachlish John Powers Takahimach on goal agus Jahar the Tammy Welsh Padre Gedina Hatslat Killian Buckley Sar Amani Fad Issued Ger Aylward Analáidir Istix Huine Sinead for an Kilkenny Beshia the Derek Díalta sa agart idir seo na Galí a bhuaig creibh na héad an Nirig ein duna díag a cosúd a bhí idir banéal an Nirig agus cíimiad go bhfuil dara borc i mhisteach mar lán cholaí dáhí a bhí ann i amach a go dtí na lecholaithe agus lár na páitce bhí Cyril Farrell ará gur ordamánaí ar fada Padraig Brehinnig bhfuil anna bhí anna chán an aimsead in isig Conor Cooney an Einachlis an son na letasathe Albert Reynolds Jonathan Glynn agus Jason Finn anna bhór anna láidir an Jason Finn and Tesóig idir barc agus Neil Keary agus Shane Maloney stig go háirithe an ná na scóra na Hogan. Sinead for in the Galí agus leis sin ar eiscút sa Michael.
Micheál, just looking at that Kilkenny team, Tomás, one of the things that you've been pointing out is you don't see as many of the traditional big clubs, if you like, represented.
Yeah, the Ballyhale Shamrocks that you see so often at senior level, or the James Stephens, and there's no representation on the team there, and you just kind of wonder, is this all down to the development squads that we've been reading about or hearing about so much over the years and stuff like that, they put so much emphasis at under 14 or under 16 level, and they seem to have spread the net much wider now, and they're getting players from different clubs around the country, and you look at St Patrick's and Lisdowney and stuff like that, and they're represented. So that has to be good for Kilkenny. It isn't just in pockets in Kilkenny, because the whole county is actually involved in it, you know. And I mean, that shows the level of work and the level of commitment that they have to underage hurling below there, which is huge.
And by the way, we should say it's a lovely day for hurling here at Croke Park. You can see the sun is shining. Ger, on the Kilkenny team, who are we looking out for?
Well, as I was saying there later on, you see the right down the centre as usual with Kilkenny. Willie Phelan at full-back, number 3, absolutely really strong player. Very, very aggressive, very good in the air. Luke Harney at centre-back. But always we look for Kilkenny forwards, as you know, Michael. You know, Killian Buckley on the wing and John Power, they played last year with Jerry Aylward at full forward. He's their main man this year, and he was a huge loss to them in last year's All-Ireland. Not saying they'd have won it if he was there. He'll be the main threat inside around the full forward line, but he's on a very good player as well in Dara Burke, for one of the real hopes for the future of Galway, Dara Burke, and Dahi Burke at centre back. Because what you'd like to see here from Galway is, are they able to contest the ball in the air? You know, apart from winning the All-Ireland, you want to be able to see them that they're on the right development to being senior players. And for Galway to do that, they need to be good in the tight and they need to be good in the air. So it'll be very interesting to see how they are in those two areas today.
Cyril, speaking of development squads, and just picking up on what Tomas was saying there about Kilkenny, reading during the week, the former Galway football captain Ray Silk was giving out about the lack of development of the footballers at Galway. What's the situation with hurling?
It'll be very strong. Don't raise structure, as Gerard tell you, in Galway, like, it's very, very strong. I saw an under-16 team playing the other night against Limerick, and Lord God, they're talking about size. Usually Galway hurlers are kind of nimble and kind of swift. These fellas are all 6'2" or 3" and they're ready to hurl. But going back to Tomas man there in Kilkenny night, it would be very wide in Kilkenny, but the one big advantage maybe Kilkenny have is in Galway no more than in Clare we have hurling and football, and as you know in Galway it's nearly divided in two.